All right, second presentation is movement number one. What is mobility? Mobility for me is movement ability. So, mobility versus flexibility. Mobility is the dynamic movement. All right, that's the main part, the dynamic movement of a joint through the full range of motion. Flexibility is the passive length a muscle can achieve. So mobility to me is more active and flexibility is more passive. Flexibility is bad, or training flexibility only is bad because it is unstable. It creates an unstable body and creates compensation patterns. So when you think about the way our body was designed with those natural lines of tension, flexibility is just increasing the length of those lines of tension without increasing tension. So the length tension relationship of muscles, fascia, and other soft tissue are now just elongated. Think about just stretching an elastic band and then that band losing its elasticity. That is not what we want. So do not focus on an isolated mobility drill or stretch. Focus on moving your body as a system. If you do that, you will be pain free. I promise. Why stretching does not work. More on that. Increased range of motion can be a bad thing because, like I said in the slide before, stretching leads to dysfunction and instability, not only in that local area, but also elsewhere in the body, which can put even more pressure on the body part that you are stretching. So, if my lower back is in pain and I think it's because it's too tight and that I need to stretch it, stretching the lower back past the point which is biologically healthy for us to move is now putting things out of alignment, i.e., the rib cage and the pelvis. If those two things are out of alignment and don't have a good length tension relationship, then now our body has to compensate and try to stabilize those structures, right? Because we are standing on 2 feet. And if those things are unstable, other muscles have to work harder to stabilize our structure. That will lead back to more back pain and also pain elsewhere in the body. And what happens all the time? I mean, why are you even in this program? It's probably because you're used to stretching and foam rolling, and those provide temporary pain relief. Then, when you go to move, and you might feel good when you first start moving, you move enough to where you feel tight again, and then you got to stretch more. And we've probably been at this for years. I did it for years myself. Short term, and this begs the question: short term versus long term decisions. We are training and moving ourselves into dysfunction, causing us to temporarily seek pain relief all the time. Temporary relief methods lead to long term consequences, and the lazy self care that we have bought into in this society is now under preparing us for actual movement. So, like all the massage guns and the stretchy bands and the yoga and the feel good stuff is just providing that temporary relief. And it's not preparing my body to go stand up and sprint. And so when I do those things, or even not even sprint, just like walk around, when I do those things, my body's not able to withstand the force that I'm creating because it's been underprepared by all the lazy self care. So, how do we train for mobility? How do we train in a way that allows functional movement patterns without causing direct harm to our local tissues or throwing off the systemic balance that holds us together, like those fascial lines of tension? The first thing we have to do is prioritize gait. The second thing we have to do is keep our fascia healthy. These are not steps, these are more bullet points. These are two things that you have to do at once. We get into that during this program. So, as far as gait, we are naturally made to stand on 2 feet and to walk in this bipedal gait cycle fashion. So simply put, the two things that got us out of the woods and running on 2 legs are sprinting and throwing. Plus our physical adaptations and biomechanics stem from those two things more than other things. So deadlifting might be a part of our finished product, but right now, if we are prioritizing that movement, which is just in one plane of motion, it is going to hurt our body because our muscles were literally formed to go through this gait cycle. So we have to prioritize walking, running, and throwing. That is the way out of pain. So your current habits have put you in pain. This program is hopefully going to get you out of that. And then we might be able to supplement some of that Western weightlifting practice that you love and that messes up your body. Last slide, what is fascia? These are the common myofascial lines. These are the lines of tension that literally hold your body together. The main ones are the front, back, and spiral line. And we're going to go into fascia much more as the program progresses. This is a huge part of rehab. Why? And I just want you to look at these images and think to yourself, why would I want to isolate parts of this mechanism? So when you think of these things being perfectly designed for us to move as athletic specimens, why, and like we did as kids, why would we want to isolate these and cut them off at the hips or even at any other point? Like, and that's what we're doing with isolated stretches and isolated exercises. So that is all for this. I'm excited to continue this journey with you guys. Let's have a good week. Peace.